Thanks, Rob. Welcome to Maritime Noon. I'm Norma Lee McLeod. A blogger reveals an interview he recorded with the accused Fredericton shooter.
I look at the tape, and when I found out who it was, I was very, very confused. It was just like a 1,000,000 ton of steel that was on my soldier.
A horse goes to court to sue his owner for abuse.
The question is, why should his abuser get away with that and not have to pay just because he's a horse? Why should the nonprofit Horse Sanctuary have to fundraise to pay for his care and right the wrong that his former owner did?
Should animals have more legal protection? Tell us what you think. And your thoughts on my news.
Go home and stick your feet up and have a glass of wine. Take care.
All of this today on Maritime Noon. A blogger in Fredericton has a bit of a coup on his hands. It's a video he realized many people would want to see. In June of last year, Charles LeBlanc interviewed a protester outside the New Brunswick legislature. Well, it turns out that guy was Matthew Vincent Raymond, now charged with 4 counts of first-degree murder. He's accused of being the Fredericton shooter who killed 2 citizens and 2 police officers. At the time of the interview, Raymond was protesting a bill that calls for a national plan against racism. His sign said, "No Sharia law."
Where do you get your news?
Oh, I get it from the internet.
Duh. Where? Are you afraid to say where? Where are you getting your news? Where? What makes you so upset?
I don't go with every bit of info. They talk about the borders and stuff, and they talk about that on Rebel Media.
Oh, Rebel Media. There's a website.
Well, we've reached blogger Charles LeBlanc today. Hello to you.
Hello, Norma Lee.
How interesting to hear that today. How did you come to realize that the man you were recording that day is the man now charged with 4 counts of first-degree murder?
Well, what happened is when the tragedy happened here in the capital, I wasn't around, and I wasn't around the city for about a month. And last week, there's a friend of mine in the evening approached me, and then he said, "Charles, it's pretty bad what happened to Matt." See, I'm a blogger, I'm an activist, and 80% of the people I talk to on the street, I don't know their first name. And I know the face. I chat with them for years. So I said, "Who's Matt?" And suddenly he explained, I don't know Matt. So next thing you know, my ADHD brain's clicking, and my God, I grab him by the shoulder, and I almost fainted.
You realized then who you had on tape?
No. Now, what happened, I realized I never knew I had the tape. I just realized who it was. And we did a video, me and a friend of his. We talk about Matt. This was Sunday morning. And we put the video online. And I knew I had maybe a picture of him. So I start searching. And next thing you know, the video that I posted, I saw the video, and it was him. And I just look at the screen, and I go, I forgot that I interviewed him, and I just go, oh, my God. And then it had 100, and it never had his name. It had 197 views. And after that, it just went up to 3 or 4 or 5,000.
What a thing. What did it feel like to watch that tape, knowing now that he's charged with 4 counts of first-degree murder?
It's when I look at the tape, and when I found out who it was, I was very, very confused. It was just like a 1,000,000 ton of steel that was on my soldier, and I tried to react the whole stories, the conversation I had with him, and tried if there was some kind of sign that could have let me know that I could have forewarned the police. But from the conversation I had with Matt, he's just a simpleton, and he was protesting. He wasn't screaming. I see many protesters, loud voice, including the one that you're talking with. And this guy here was just quiet. He was very, very paranoid, just a simpleton. And the way he was talking, and when I saw the video, it goes to show you that he's very, very connected to the videos on the internet and what's going on in the States.
He mentioned Rebel Media, which is, Ezra Levant's outfit, extreme right wing. You also asked him if he was paranoid, and he answered no to that.
Yeah, the many conversations I had with Matt, he was very, very paranoid. He would talk, and then if he talked about the Muslim or the immigrants, he would whisper. And the last time before I left the city, about a week before, I took a picture of Matt. He was sitting alone at Coffee and Friends, and the last 2 times I saw him, he would just sit down and don't move and just focus ahead. And I took his picture, and I crossed the street, and I said, "Are we still paranoid?" And then I showed him the picture, and he asked me if I would delete it, and I did. It's still on my memory card if somebody wants it, but I formatted the card. But no, he was very paranoid, very paranoid.
Do you think he was different when you last bumped into him than on the day you interviewed him?
Yes, it wasn't the same guy. He was sort of like, when we did the interview, we chatted for about 5-10 minutes before I put my camera on, and he was, the reason I put the camera on is his views were so extreme that it got me upset. And I put the camera on, and you could see him laughing and answering. But the last few times I seen him, he wasn't the same guy. He was quiet, and he was just focused, and God knows what was in his head.
Well, that's the thing. What do you read into that?
What I read into that is he's not the only one. There's a lot of people out there with mental issues, and mental illness is a problem, and there's a lot of lonely people out there. And some of them could get really, really brainwashed by the internet. The 40, 50 years ago, we got our stories at Tim Hortons or in a restaurant on the street. Now, these lonely people have the internet, and it could be very, very dangerous. When you see a person that's quiet, that changes attitude 180 degrees, approach them, talk to them. I wish I would have sat down with him and had coffee and talked more, but hindsight is a terrible thing.
Thanks so much for talking to us, Charles, and for your insight.
You have a good day.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
That's Charles LeBlanc. He's a blogger in Fredericton, and we've posted more on his video on the Maritime Noon Facebook page. You can check it out there.